Welcome, everyone, to the Real Life Trading Swing Trading Floor, where our mission is to enrich lives. My name is Brad Reed, and I am a real life trader. I'd like to remind you to be good, and by good, I mean get out of debt, achieve your financial dreams, and give generously to your community. What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all are all doing well. It's been an interesting week. Thank you for being here, Brian. I appreciate that. I was starting the webinar. There's only first of all, there were 0 people here. Then there was 3. So I sent that message out on Slack, and you guys are filing in. Brian is here. Thanks for joining, Brian. Clive was wrecking a day trade last time I talked to him. David, welcome. Fabian, what's going on? Frank is here. Thanks for being here, Frank. It's 9 o'clock your time, 9 p.m. Javier, welcome. Mike is back. What's going on, Mike? Robert is here and Scott McKay here. Mike, you're here to cause trouble like you did last night, right? Yeah, the good kind of trouble. So the SPY had a very tiny day today, very low volume. I think just a lot of resting after a pretty active week, to be honest. Because today's candle is so small and on such low volume, I think we have a great chance of continuing higher next week, but we shall see. We might pull back into there and go, or on Monday we might just go straight up, but I would be a little bit more bullish than bearish for the next couple of days, at least according to the SPY. The DIA, the same. Oh man, a $200 ETF, and this thing closed bearish by 2 pennies. Someone's hitting me up on Slack. All right, saying I'm at work. Melanie got an R on BUID. Congrats, Melanie. Nicely done. Yeah, so the DIA, bearish by just 2 pennies on super low volume. So once again, I think that we have a great chance of the bullish move to continue on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. The Qs, a little bit bigger volume on the bearish candle, but let's also realize that it had a monstrous gap compared to a lot of the others. So that pullback, I don't know, I don't want to say expected, but bullish candle that gaps up, we usually call those retest gaps 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's what it did. So maybe this is the retest, and Monday it continues up with the others. We shall see. The stock trading is not about predicting, but rather reacting. And the IWM also does not look scary bearish at all. So looks good. I think we have a great chance at moving bullish next week. Of course, I will be waiting. Let's see. I don't have them on the list, but a lot of us were watching Amazon very carefully today. Had a monster gap up and just faded the whole day. A lot of these tech stocks jumped up and just faded for the entire day. It was kind of frustrating day trading some of these because we were expecting the gap up and we thought it would fade for a couple of minutes, maybe a couple of hours. But yeah, I didn't really get a signal on many of those. This is one I took at the end of the day. And I kind of taught a lesson to myself, I guess, that and I reminded myself that in order to double your account in a year, you generally need 3, 4, maybe 5 Rs in a month. So really, all you need is 2 or 3, maybe just 4 really good trades in a month. And I don't know if you're like me, I took close to 40 trades this month. And so what I'm going to start doing next month, and you guys are going to help me out with it, at least so you promised, is every time I'm considering a trade, I need to think back and just sort of, or sit back and ask myself, is this going to be one of the 2, 3, 4 best trades that I see this entire month? And I got to tell you, if it's this one, No, it's not. I mean, was it a good trade? Yeah, it was. Had definitely found support at the orange line. The 15 moving average had come in and was working. Pressure between the volume weighted average price. So it was a good trade, but I think my problem was it was the best trade I had seen all day. But as far as where this ranks on the quality of trades in a month, probably not so good. So this was a fairly expensive lesson for me. Hopefully you guys can learn the lesson a lot cheaper. But yeah, just lost an hour, and actually technically I guess it was half an hour, because I lost half an hour on a very, very good trade. I would say a great trade setup that Victor Gonzalez found this morning. Lost half an hour on it, so I only risked half an hour there. And I still get to finish April with 6 hours in day trading. So a good month, but yeah, that was not a good trade setup compared to some of the others that I took this month. I just think it was good for the day. So again, got to keep your standards high consistently on what is and what is not a good trade setup. And again, 3, 4, maybe 5 R in a month will double your account in a year if you're using a 2% R. And so it only takes just a very, very small amount of really good trade setup. So wait for the ones that are overwhelmingly awesome and then go crush those. Let's check out our swing trades. ZUO had a little bit of a retrace, which is fine. The overall market did, right? And according to the market indices, we are looking for more of a bullish push, or at least we think that's more likely to happen next week. So I think ZUO could reverse and continue upwards. Camilo, welcome. Glad you're here, buddy. So yeah, no adjustments today on ZUO. I'm going to wait for that one to go a little bit more bullish before I tighten the stop. I'd say there's a chance Jeremy Newsom closes this out tomorrow. Sorry, on Monday for a profit when he gets back. We'll just have to see what it does. Mila saying she actually did get in on an Apple trade. Oh, I guess I haven't talked about that yet, did I? I talked about it a little before I hit record. So Mila calls out today, is like, hey, I think I see a descending wedge on Apple. And descending wedges are really, really bullish. And I was like, man, I don't know if that's a descending wedge or a descending triangle. Descending triangles, you trade in the bearish direction. Descending wedges, you trade in the bullish direction. But here comes Mila saying, yeah, I crushed it. Nicely job. Nice job. Nice job. She says, I'm hooked. Yes, you are. And you got a frequent trader point for calling that out. So nice job, Mila. I can take these lines off. And my phone is going nuts. All right, cool. So we looked at ZUO. We bragged just a little bit about Melanie's awesomeness. I only have an hour, and I need about a week to talk about how awesome Melanie is. Sorry, Mila. Look at both Mila and Melanie have messages of success in the over there. Good job, Mila. Mila's in the chat pane now. Sorry, my cell phone's blowing up. The Slack is blowing up. The chat pane's going at its normal pace. But I will keep up. I will win. I will stay on top. Mila says, that's not me. Yeah. Isn't that you? You trade the retest on the W bottom that formed after breaking the wedge. You trailed out, so you made a profit. That is you, Mila. See, Mila, I don't think you know just how awesome you really are, because we think you're pretty awesome. Moving on. She says, that is me. All right, there, we got it. BILI looking like it's going to hit the stop before it hits the trigger. I'll leave it open until it does. Let's take a look at SAIL. So through an upper wick, really low bearish volume here. So I think the chance that we bounce and continue higher would be phenomenal. Once again, we'll see what Jeremy Newsom wants to do when he gets here. I would not be surprised if he just goes ahead and closes this out for a profit on Monday. But until that, we shall just see. Clive. Oh man, guys are joking about my hot tub. Yeah, I just went out and checked the chlorine levels, and it was at 0. So I put in 1 capful, and now it's at 15. So I have to siphon out the water, put in new water, try and get it heated up. It has been an eventful day, and I'm a chemical engineer. I'm supposed to be good at this stuff. All right, Blue Apron. Big bullish day yesterday, kind of a retrace yesterday, right? Are we shocked, right? Any of the people who got in here, they're just closing out this resistance. So if the overall market goes bullish like I think it will, let's write it on up. Yesterday, I'm pretty sure I put in a target on Blue Apron, and it's going to be at 2R 270. So let me put that picture back. And if you don't have that entered, I would suggest entering it, because some of these cheap stocks, they can pop. And Blue Apron, obviously, we saw yesterday, had a really big move. We could trade into the 270 into this target on Monday. It is possible. Matt says, do you think the 50 EMA will be a problem on APRN? It obviously found resistance there, but with these higher lows and the volume there, I think it continues bullish. Let's just say if this is a bear flag pattern and it rolls on down, that'll be the first time I've seen bullish volume like that on a flag pattern. You know what, though? Earnings are coming up. So we don't want to have this trade open over earnings. Earningswhisper.com. APRN. May 3rd, so Thursday morning. What was the plan when we got in? So earnings were here. It wiggled. So your call on this one, Jeremy will be back over the weekend and can, of course, make an official plan for this. But if you guys want to get out for break even or at that daily 50, I don't think that would be a bad thing. I'm going to go ahead and send him a Slack message. It'll take him a while to get to all those at Jeremy Newsom. Triggered into APRN, and earnings are Thursday morning. Should we put in an order to escape at break even? And let's see, let me go ahead and send him the picture. And I know he's only going to have about 400 messages when he comes back. I'm guessing he's going to have 1,100 emails. And yeah, probably 300 to 500 text messages. But he will get through those very, very quickly. All right. So Blue Apron. For right now, I'm going to leave it alone. But you guys know that I frequently and constantly say, for those of y'all, trade your plan. And if your plan says to get out for break even, if you can on that, go ahead and do it. Don says, made it. Welcome, Don. Clive says, absolute zero trade for those in under full R. Stop around $1 for settling risk. All right. Groovy. So that's APRN DDD. Ew, that's not a good candle. Kind of the same message I've been saying all week for DDD. If you don't want shares, you need to do a bull put spread, or put in a limit order to exit if this does retrace. But if you, Looks like earnings are coming up. So if you can hold out till after earnings, the cost of buying this put down here will be much, much cheaper. But that does have an insanely number of bearish candles in a row. It is bound to retest soon. Doesn't mean it has to, but I think it will. There's just got to be a lot of people that are profitable in the bearish direction. You'd think, one would think, PETS might be the start of a of upward little move. Very extended in the bearish direction, very likely to pull back. Ticker MU, kind of the same thing. Could be wiggling there on the 100. And MU's in the tech sector, and the whole tech sector just had a rough day despite so many tech stocks gapping up. So no adjustments based on some of those. Maybe put in some put in a target on Blue Apron, and you can decide if you want to put that target in at 2R just underneath the daily 50, or if you want to get in just above break even, or just market exit Monday morning. Your choice, your choice. Or hold it till Thursday. Okay, that was the list of current trades we have open. I talked about the indices. Let's get into financial. Oh, let's take a look at what we have on the watch list, and then we'll jump into Financial Fridays. So Ford looking pretty strong in the bullish direction. I don't like the resistance that it's finding at that daily 200, or else I would be interested in a doji trade, something like that. So maybe we wait for it to break above the 200 and come back and do something along those lines. So Ford, I will keep watching, but at this point, not put an official trade on it, but I would be more bullish than bearish. I wonder if I could do a bull put spread down at 1050. Ford. Since earnings just happened, there may not be enough volatility. And on those, let's go to May 18. That's 3 weeks. That's plenty of time. So bull put spread, I said below 1050. Yeah, no premium. All right. That usually when there's no premium in a bull put spread that looks like it should be a good one, it sometimes can mean that the market maker agrees with us that there is very little chance that it goes down. And sometimes when you're doing a credit spread, if there is unusually high premium, then it might mean that the market maker is expecting it to run, expecting it to run towards you. Give me just a second. All right. Groovy. Sorry about that. Ticker AAL was also on our watch list. A massive gap down, long lower wicks into a strong support area. Realize if this thing does go up, it should go up at least up to there. Might be able to get an R. I'm not sure what that is. If it crosses more bullish than that, I would be more bullish than bearish for the short term. If I want to wait for a wiggle to take it bearish, no, I don't think it would. I think it's too extended in the bearish direction. It should bounce here. Maybe we need to look for something like that, or that inverted head and shoulders. to happen. Yeah, I'm going to have to wait for quite a sizable wiggle over here before I take it. Robert says they had some really bad news. Sued. Okay. All right. Oh, and they're saying fares may go up. All right. Lawsuits, higher fares. Yeah, may not be good for the airlines. All right. What do you like to call that pattern since mid-March? Is that parabolic? No, I wouldn't call it parabolic. I almost would just call it a fairly nice wave rotation. Actually, the way I draw it there looks like we are at the end of wave 5, ready to go up. Let's see if I see anything that's parabolic here. That's kind of parabolic. No, I would not call it parabolic, but yeah, downwards. This part extended from the moving average, so a little bit more. I think it has reason to retest, but I don't know if it's ready to pop. So maybe it retests that moving average, comes back, and we get a double bottom or an inverted head and shoulder, something like that. Brian says, would you say, though, that with the competitive nature of the airline industry, that when one falls, other may rise? I would not. Maybe with Southwest Airlines, but a lot of the big major airlines kind of all move together. Also, 50% of the 50% of the direction of a stock is due to the direction of the sector. Excuse me. 50% of the size of the move of a stock is attributed to the size of the move of the sector, which basically means with all of the big money mutual funds and hedge funds that have their hands in the market, it is difficult for a blue chippy type stock like American Airlines to move separately from the market or separately from the sector. It could, but in my opinion, Brian, I would say no. CSX, we were looking at this one potentially for a swing trade yesterday, and then it hit me today. The trade setup would have been a buy limit right there with a protective stop halfway into the gap. So I missed that one. I botched it. I goofed. I'm not good enough. But doggone it, people like me. Sorry, 90s Saturday Night Live reference. But as far as where we are, I'm not going to make this official just because I'm a little bit worried that 2R is too far away. But I will keep my eye on this one. Financial Fridays, let's get going. Gold. Going sideways up there at a nice level. We usually don't do channel trades here, but if you want to do like a buy there with a protective stop down there, sell up there, I don't know, that looks like a pretty solid channel, right? So you buy down here, you sell half, and then you sell the other half, and then you go in bearish. You buy back half, you buy the rest, and you just keep doing that as long as it wants to do its thing. With the 100 coming up, this may be when it breaks out through the high. Usually, not always, if the stock market is doing well, precious metals do not. Let's check out AU. It's another gold stock. This one looks completely different than the gold ETF. Mila says, and because of ETF proliferation, when money out of the sectors, all components of the ETFs are affected. Agreed. Agreed. So Gold and AU appear like they're down here at a support area. I am seeing at least something here that shows a descending, looks like a descending triangle. So if gold were to break that support, it really has a long ways to go. So we might want to keep an eye on that if you like trading gold directionally. I know a lot of people that trade gold non-directionally. But I think if the market breaks bullish like we think it might, gold might get hurt. Questions, comments about gold? We can check out AG, silver. You guys are hilarious in the chat pane. Oh, for those of y'all that just watch the recordings, at some point you got to be here live, because yeah, y'all are y'all this crazy when Jeremy's doing the floor? Or y'all saving it for me? Y'all are too fun. All right, AG. Interesting pattern up here at what potentially could be a resistance. Again, that second gold stock that we looked at looked like it could have been a little bit more bearish than bullish. Clive says, we are worse. All right. The overall direction on this chart is bearish. And it looks like this thing has pulled up into a resistance. Obviously, it found resistance at the 200 there. I mean, the 200 has been the line, right? So is this going to make a double top? And we take it back down to there? Because that's almost 2R. That looks a little bit like more than 2R. I think I'd want it to break there before I get into a bear call spread. Robert likes it. Mila likes it. Where'd that bullish volume come from? Ooh, look at that. You guys know I like trading that on a day trade. My swing trade setups are very similar to my day trade setups. The only thing that's different is the time frame, right? I'm looking at a daily chart rather than a 5 or 15-minute chart. So like an entry there, protective stop there, target there. Let's take a look at the Bollingers. Oh, look at that. It failed to get into that top band. So I think that means we at least come down to the 20 simple. The catch is both bands are still pointed up. So I don't want to go bearish yet. See how when it broke bearish here, at least the top band was not pointed up. When it broke bearish here, the top band was not pointed up. Maybe if this thing comes back in here and wiggles, this top band will hook back down, and that might be our sign. I'm not ready to go bearish on AG right now. But I am definitely going to put that on the watch list. I wonder what the stochastics and RSI say. That looks as expected. And that looks as expected. So no signs of divergence. But you know what? If that comes back down, this will likely do something like that. And then, well, no, that won't be divergence either, because that would be as expected. Divergence is when the the stock keeps going up, but the peaks on stochastics and RSI do not continue up. I wonder if I can see one very quickly. And I don't see one right off the bat. But that's okay. So I think on AG, I'm going to wait and see if it does want to make some flavor of a double top there on that 200 and then trade it bearish. Yeah. Mila says, I'm with you on it, Brad. This week, I've converted in the day trading outlook. All right. Mila, you've been crushing it. And sharing trade setups with us, so allowing us to crush it with you. Cool. Gorgeous little something. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty. I guess that's some sort of triple top. This could be called some flavor of a Head and Shoulders. I don't know. Earnings coming up very soon on MasterCard. Just tell me what I means. Or what one means. Earnings Wednesday morning. So definitely don't want to put a trade out there right now on MasterCard. But to be honest, I think I'd be a little bit more bearish. I would have to get a lower high. Could I put the stop there? Entry there? And gosh, that's going to be the first target though. That's support, and when the daily 200 comes in. It did bounce off the 100 here. So it might bounce off the 100 up here again. That's a really, really long run up. So some ABC action is due. And that may be what we're seeing right now, some ABC action. So maybe we want to wait until the public participation starts and the downward trend. There can't be divergence because it's making lower highs. Right, so here is an example of divergence. Stochastics and RSI are making lower highs, even though the stock is making higher highs. So once again, bearish divergence doesn't mean it has to go bearish. It just means not the time to go bullish right now. And then, of course, that right there breaks the divergence for Stokes, and RSI has not yet broken. Kind of has. Kind of, maybe, sort of. Bollinger's, nothing really shocking there. Notice again, it failed to get into the top band. We saw that on AG, and it walked to the bottom band. And then when it failed to walk the bottom band, it went back up to the top band. So the bearish break when these Bollingers are pointed up was not very successful. So that's another reason why I was waiting on AG. Mila says, I'm drawing a cup and handle. Could be. Cup and handles are bullish. But with earnings coming up, we definitely need to wait and chillax till earnings. So I think that will determine it. You rock, Brian. Appreciate that. Yeah, so either way, we're going to wait for earnings, and then we will come up with a plan after earnings. So if you are in shares right now on MasterCard, I think a protective stop right about there would be good, or just exit for a profit, and or first thing Monday, go ahead and buy that protective put. When are earnings? Wednesday. Okay, so either get your protective puts for on Monday or Tuesday, but you definitely need to get them before the market closes on Tuesday, because if it does for some reason gap down here and just get completely wrecked, you would want a protective put. And how much is a protective put? Just for kicks. For April 27th, and let's say I want the 167 or something like that. Puts 167. 67 cents. Nah, that's not right. What is going on here? Puts for April 20. Let me hit refresh. Yahoo Finance, not the most reliable source for put options. Don't know why these very close to the money are 4 cents and these are very expensive. But let's just say worst case scenario, you spend 30 cents a share for a put on a $170 stock. That can affect your cost basis too much. Oh, you know what? Those expire today. Sorry, Mila, you rock. Thank you. That's why the prices are all wonky, because these are all expired. Next Friday. Okay, so 78.80 cents, something like that, for a 167.50. So, what did I say? Yeah, 80 cents. So 80 cents to protect a $167 stock. That's like a drop in the bucket, right? So it should not have a deleterious effect on your overall profit loss. Hopefully you don't need them, and these options will likely be even cheaper on Monday. So if you hold shares, get some puts on Monday or Tuesday. Let's see, that was MasterCard. Let's check out Visa. Visa just had earnings, so we're a little bit more of a green light if we want to place a trade. Has found some nice support in through here on the 100. Earnings have happened. Maybe it's ready to go. Dividend ought to be coming up pretty soon. 126.88 there, 127. So do we want like a 126.88? That was 127.59. If I put an entry there, my stop has to at least go at the bottom of that. Call it 121.84, and that's I think I'm going to want a tighter entry to stop, so 2R is not, an entire 3 months of trading away. Bollingers, are they both pointing up? They are. That's nice when both bottom band and top band are pointing up. Stokes and RSI, probably not going to look any kind of crazy there. All right. Don't see too much crazy there, so all good. Mila says, and if on Tuesday Apple brings the market down. Okay. Yeah, so Apple will have earnings on Tuesday. But Mila, you determine what Apple does, right? Don't the market makers call you up and say, hey, what's it supposed to do? Either that or they have tapped your phone and your internet and they're like, hey, Mila spotted the descending wedge. Jack up the price. Make it go up. Brian says, do you have any guidance on when to take a breakout and when to take a limit on the retest? Like on the all-time high resistance of Visa. Let's go take a look at well, we are looking at Visa. It's funny you should mention that because there is a YouTube video out here, Real Life Trading Retest Breakout. When to take the breakout or the retest. Oh, that's Newsom's video. Where's mine? Oh, here it is. This one's my video. So 2 videos here you can check out. I know mine is focused on day trading. And I don't know if Jeremy's is focused on swing trading or not. But the 10-second version of it is, it really is just more going to depend on the reward risk. So on Visa, I said I'm going to wait because because 2R is going to be like up. Oops, thought I had the marker. 2R is going to be somewhere up in there. And you can see if this continues at this speed, something like that, that's early August. I don't want to wait till then to be getting 2R, right? I'd rather use my buying power, my capital, to go grab something else. However, let's say your stop is, maybe you wanted to trade this on the breakout. Well, now 2R is about there, and based on that speed, that's 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, that's doable. So for me, the short of it is just depends on how far away 2R is. And I will tell you, I like breakout trades. Jeremy likes retest trades. So the question is going to come down to, what kind of trades do you like? What meets with your trading plan? What meets with your personality? What meets with your trading style? Because, yeah, I like breakouts. Jeremy likes retests. Latoya likes retests. Blake takes a mixture of breakouts and retests, maybe a little bit more breakout sided. You rocked me. I appreciate that. You are welcome. Great question. Great question. Mila says, and I like variety. Yeah, I think it all just kind of depends on your trading style, and what it's going to offer you. If you have time to wait for the retest. Here is Citigroup. They just had their earnings. Look, that's not a Head and Shoulders. Not the right place for a Head and Shoulders. That, though, however, is the right place for a Head and Shoulders. And looks like we are now retesting that shoulder. So, Brian, we could have put an entry here, a protective stop there, and taken 2R down here at this support. But as you can see, that would have taken a really, really long time. What if we traded the retest, right? Wait for this thing to come down, bounce one more time, maybe get our protector stop right about there. Now 2R is about there and becomes a whole lot more appetizing. Yeah, I like that trade better. So in this case, it would be another example of trading a retest. If you were trading over here, you could take the breakout with your protective stop there, or you could have traded the retest with your protective stop there. I will tell you, trading the main breakout is easier because stocks sometimes don't always retest, right? Check this one out. There's not much of a retest. It just goes. So catching up on the chat pane. Yeah, again, and this is why we back trade, right? Back trade, try both. Try trading the breakout and trading the retest, and figure out which one works best for you. Cute little inverted head and shoulders there, broke out and just ran right up to that resistance level. No retest. Cool. Let's see, Citigroup, at least for right now, I am more bearish than bullish. The question becomes, is it this or is it that? Let's take a look at Bollinger Bands. They should both be angled down. Oh, they're not. Kind of squeezing. So that means it could go in kind of either direction. Definitely looks like the bearish volume has been winning, at least in the short term. Once again, see how it failed to walk that bottom band and we went up. If you're in a swing trade and it has some times where if you're going bearish and it fails to get into that bottom band, start playing defense. Same thing if you're going bullish and it fails to get into that top band, start playing defense. Javier says, higher interest rates equals more money for banks. Yes and no, Javier. Richard said yes and no too. So a lot of things go into that, right? So when interest rates go up, it is generally to slow down the growth of the economy. Businesses in general, it's more expensive for them to operate. Their costs go up when the interest rates go up. So the stock market tends to slow down. And really the reason they do that is to slow down inflation. Banks don't necessarily make money on the interest rate. They make money on the difference between the interest rate and the Fed rate. And banks pretty much keep that a constant amount. So when the interest rates go up, people generally they take fewer loans when the interest rate goes up. Brian says if the interest rate is from the Fed, it costs them more money when they borrow from the Fed. Yes. So the net per loan to the banks is fairly constant, but but at the higher interest rates, people want to take fewer loans, right? How many people refinanced your house, right? Took out a loan, maybe took out some equity of your house when the interest rates were down in the 3s? And then how many people want to refinance your house when the interest rates are in the 8s, right? Not many people. When the interest rates go up, you'll see a lot more people renting. So real estate tip, interest rates are going up. Now's the time to get your rental houses. Now's the time to buy your apartments and your condos that you're going to be renting out. Your mobile homes, because as these interest rates go up, there's going to be fewer and fewer people that are buying. All right, so you guys are sharing some resources in the chat pane. I'm going to get back to stock trading. Citigroup for the Bollingers. Bollingers are not saying do not go bearish. Bollinger's saying let's wait and see. The top band is angled down, the bottom band is angled up, so let's wait and see if we get a bit of a squeeze. Actually, it might be somewhere around here. We got a pop, we come back into the band, and then we walk the band down bearish. Stokes and RSI. Nothing really too shocking there. Notice the higher highs there, the lower highs there, actually going back for quite a while. Divergence. Doesn't mean it has to go bearish, but means it needs to rest. It means don't go bullish. Okay, groovy. Questions, thoughts about Citigroup? Oh, how the economic machine works. Yeah, that's a great, great video. Camila says, I'm feeling C isn't tanking. So Camila, do you think that maybe this was the upward move and this is just the rest? Because Fibonacci-ish, it looks like it could be ready to bounce. Is that what you're thinking? Because if that's where you're at, I can agree. That's okay. I'm with you, Camila. I think that's a distinct possibility. Like, I think that is a significant. It's obviously distinct because I wasn't very vague about it. But yeah, I think that's a very strong possibility. And that's one reason why I'm not placing a trade on it right now. Brookshire Hathaway is next on the list. Have a very, very interesting triangle forming on it. Looks like we flirted with the 100, 100, 100. I kind of think we got to wait for the 200 before we go bullish again. This definitely looks like an ABC wave. Man, that's nasty. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Or is that 1, 2, 3? Maybe this is wave 4. I don't know, but whatever it is, it's chopping, and it definitely says a big, awesome weight. Let's see, templates, Bollingers. Ooh, coming in. Yep. So the Bollingers agree with the triangle. We could pop in either direction. And Stokes and RSI, do they give us any clue? Nope. They just say, hey, we're resting. We're chillaxing. So again, Brookshire Hathaway may be something you want to put on your watch list. Earnings are coming up very soon, so maybe you don't want to put it on your watch list. If you're holding shares, get a nice tight protective stop or exit for a profit if you can. But yeah, Monday or Tuesday, actually probably Monday, be a good time to buy a protective put. Maybe you buy it down there, save yourself a little bit of cash. Groovy. Fitbits. How fit are your bits? Oh no, this is Fifth Third Bank. Looks like I was watching this for a day trade not too long ago. That's a lot of bullish candles in a row. Brian, here's another signal. If I'm considering taking the breakout and I've got 4 bearish candles in a row, I can tell you that right there says, dude, wait for a retest. Because I do not want to go bullish after 4 bearish candles in a row. Big bullish volumes popping nicely, but actually, yeah, more than 4, right? About 7 big bullish candles in a row. So let's see if this one, I would actually absolutely love for it to make a higher high, then come back and wiggle right in this range. Show me that that old resistance is now new support, and then take it bullish from there. I got 5 minutes and 3 more stocks to do. If I were in bullish on this, I'd have my protector stop right about there. 4 candles in a row, I might be interested in selling a very short-term covered call, 1 or 2 weeks, just to bring in some premium. And hey, if I get filled up there, that's a nice profit. But with this upward move, those calls may have some value. And I would expect a retrace at any moment. Hopefully those calls would expire worthless. Groovy. JPM. Again, looks pretty weak. Earnings happened about 2 weeks ago. I'm not too ready to go bearish on this, not with that daily 200 coming in. I wonder if that's the play to go bearish, but all of this support is a little bit tight for that. All right, chat pane, you guys are helping each other out. Y'all rock. Let's see. So I'm not seeing anything pop out right now. Bollinger's coming in. Yeah, maybe we just need to let this one wait. Let this one squeeze for a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I think the plan should be just wait on JPM. There's a pretty decent chance it comes up and does something like that. Enter, stop, trap all these bears right there. This candle actually on that volume kind of looks like what we saw with a bunch of those tech stocks today. AMD, Amazon, Intel, Baidu. It'd be interesting to see if they wiggle like that in the next week or two. If I own shares of JPM, I probably have a pretty loose stop down there. Yeah. Questions, thoughts, opposing views? Type them in. Goldman Sachs. Oh, there's a nice little breakout. So if we were going to take the breakout, probably would have had to been something like that, which is awful. If this thing wants to go sideways a little bit more, we can trade the retest, get something like that. Probably have to wait. This looks like pretty strong support. That looks like support at the bottom of that gap. So this might be one where we wait for this thing to wiggle down here, and in a week or two, we take it back bullish. Bollingers are going to be wide. Ooh, yeah. When the bands aren't even pointing in the same direction, you can expect volatility to continue. And yeah, I'd wait. I'd be waiting on that one. Stokes and RSI. All right. Camille, I like the wiggle and bold plan. All right. Last one, unless y'all have requests, WFC. Ooh. Is it just me, or does this looks like a really strong support area? And does that look like an inverted head and shoulders? Barbara says, too much news risk. Earnings already happened. Can we have 10 seconds of AMD? Sure, Brian. I'm going to wait for the 50 to come down. But if that waits just a little bit longer, yeah, I would take that thing bullish. Bollinger should be coming in, kind of squeezing a little bit. Oh, look at that. Both Bollinger Bands pointed upwards. I like that. It did fail to cross into that upper band, so going to wait for it to come back up. Stokes and RSI. RSI is rested. I'd like Stokes just a little bit more down, and if it goes sideways for a couple of days, that is what's going to happen. So I'm going to leave WFC on my watch list for a bullish trade. AMD. So this is my trade from yesterday. I know I deleted all those lines, but I guess I get to delete them again. As far as a swing trade goes, I'm going to wait a little bit. People were selling the bejesus out of this thing, and there's like bejesus all over the place. we have really only one strong day of buying. So I need to know a little bit more that the sellers are gone and the buyers are here before I go in on that. That's a little bit too wide of a risk unit for me to get an entry in now. If you're in at 10.05, man, I'd have my stop right about there. Great trade, man. Way to hold through. Yeah, I'd have my stop right there. That'd be above break even. What's the low of that? Yeah, maybe 10.49, 10.48-ish. And it wouldn't hurt to put a partial target out there, because if this thing continues, it's going to be ridiculously extended and need to come back. So you can get some up there and then maybe buy more on that pullback. You're welcome, Brian. You're welcome. Apple, says Mila, Apple's got earnings coming up very, very soon. So yeah, we can watch it. It'd be neat to see Apple consolidate here, have a neat little pop on earnings, and then take it bullish back up to the top of the channel. All right, folks, thanks for trading with me today, this week. You guys rock. Have a good one. Jeremy Newsom will be back. Yay! And have a great weekend. Thank you guys again. I've had a fun week, and trade on logic, not on hope. Have a good one, everybody.